Welcome to the QQ Catalyst Advanced Training class on setting up commission rules. Today we're going to look at how to set up the agency commission rules using premium tiers, sublines, and promotionals within Commission Central. Now to access your Commission Central, you're going to hover over the More option on the global navigation toolbar and select Commission Central. Once you're in Commission Central, you'll notice that on the left-hand side you have two tabs. The first one is Agency Commissions. So this will give you a list of all the agency commission tools that have been set up for your agency. It is broken down by carrier, by line of business, effective date, and you can search by that. The second tab is for any producer commission rules or agent commission rules that have been created and saved within QQ Catalyst. Now to filter or search for a specific commission rule, you're going to use the filter option located on the right hand side of the screen with the plus sign, and this will give you access to search using specific filters that you can select. So we can search by carrier, we can search for a specific commission rule that's set by line of business, or by MGA. So if I wanted to look at all the commission rules for basic underwriters, this MGA or broker, I can simply select that option, and now I can see that we have quite a few that are listed here. If I needed to clear this filter and go back to the very beginning, I can do so by selecting that option as well. To add a brand new commission rule, I'm simply going to select on the Add Commission, so I can start creating my commission rule directly in here. And we're going to get back to that in just a few moments. At the very top left, you have two options. You have a reconciliation section, which allows you to reconcile your commissions either by carrier, by MGA, by parent carrier, or producer. So if you're looking to reconcile any carrier, individual carrier commission, you can do so. Any commissions that are set within a parent group, you can also reconcile within this area as well. Depending on the contact type you choose, your selection will change at the bottom. So now this drop-down list shows me a list of all the MGAs and all the brokers that I have listed within my agency. If I wanted to look for my producer and reconcile by producer, this is a list of all my agents and producers that are within QQ Catalyst or are listed within QQ Catalyst. Another option is our reset option. Now what this allows you to do is to retroactively add commission rules to active policies that do not have any commission listed within them. So if you have any active policies and you created a new commission rule today and you wanted to retroactively add that rule to those active policies, you can do so by then again filtering again by carrier, by parent carrier, or by line of business. So our next option here in agency commission is to create a brand new commission rule. So if I wanted to do that, I'm simply going to click on Add Commission on the right hand side, and this is where I'm going to start creating my agency commission rule. And I can be as specific as I need to be by policy type. So if I'm looking to create a specific commission rule on any monoline policy, I can choose that option, or package policy. So when I'm choosing package policy, I get a second window which asks me to indicate what type of package policy I am creating. Now I have three choices to choose from. One is agriculture, commercial, and then personal lines package policy. So I can go ahead and choose any of those options, and then I'm going to select my filters at the bottom if they're applicable. So if I have multiple agencies that I am running with QQ Catalyst and I need this commission rule to only be available in one specific agency, I can make that choice or selection here within the location section. Otherwise, I can leave it at any location if it needs to be available throughout my agencies. Any MGA, if I need this particular rule only to be specific to a particular MGA or broker that I deal with, I can go ahead and make my choice there, as well as a parent group or parent carrier. If this particular commission rule is specific to a parent group or any carrier within that parent group, I can leave my writing carrier at any and specifically indicate which parent group it's associated with. Any line. Now, since I've chosen package policy, it's going to give me an additional option. Do I choose this commercial or this policy or commission rule, I should say, to be available for any line of business that I write as a package with that for that particular parent group, or are there specific lines of business that this commission rule will apply to? So for example, if I choose multi-line, now I can choose which line of business is applicable to this particular package policy for this parent carrier. Sublines are below. And what some sublines are used for is to add multiple commission rules for the same line of business. So I have a list of sublines that are listed below that we've created and saved in our global preferences. So if you're an administrator and have access to global preferences, you can go ahead and create any or as many sublines that apply to your particular agency, and then you can select them here at the bottom when you're selecting or when you're adding that commission rule. So in this case, my policy term could be annual, it could be semi-annual, it could be quarterly. I can make my choice, or if it varies, I can also leave it at any term. Now all the way at the bottom, I'm going to put in my commission rule, or my commission percentage. Now your commission percentage can be set as a default percentage or a flat dollar amount. So in this case we'll use a percentage, and we'll say this is 20% and maybe this is 15 and 10 on rewrites. So all those percentages will apply to this particular package policy. Once I've created my commission rule, I have a few options. I can take my commission rule, click on it, and I have a choice to edit the information that I created. I can copy it onto a new commission rule, or I can completely remove it. Now once you do create a commission rule, it is not retroactive automatically. That means that just because you set up a commission rule, if there are any policies prior to that commission rule being created that do not have a commission rule included, you will need to reset them either using the reset option on the upper left hand side, or going directly to that policy and resetting the commission directly on that policy. Same thing for removal. Just because you remove a commission rule, it does not reset all those commissions that were previously entered using that commission rule. If those are incorrect, they'll need to be reset manually as well. Now if I wanted to create a brand new commission rule, or if I wanted to copy one onto a new commission rule, I can select copy. And so now I have copied an existing commission rule onto a new commission rule, which allows me to edit this information any way I see fit in order to save it as a brand new rule. So if I need to change the policy type to maybe any line or any policy type, I can do that without affecting the original commission rule that I had originally set up as a package policy. I'm just going to go down the list choosing the same criteria. I can choose my location, my MGA or brokers. I can remove this parent group if it does not apply to this particular commission rule, and I can set up a different insurance company. Now line of business, I can either select a specific line of business, or I can choose this particular rule to apply to any line of business that I write with New England Insurance Company. So in this case, let's go ahead, since we're going to look at setting up tiers, let's take it and select workers' comp as our line of business. We're going to remove our subline, and our policy term will go ahead and select as annual. And I can also leave it at any term, which means that if it varies, again, it would take away, or it would apply this to any term that I selected. Now the premium tiers are located on the right hand side, and it allows me to set up specific tier information here within this commission rule. So if I have a carrier that pays my agency commissions or differs on the agency commission percentages that they pay to your agency based on the premium on the policy, you can set up the different tiers to account for that. So in this example, we'll go ahead and choose 3 tiers. So if you notice at the bottom now, we have 3 areas where we can enter our commission information. So our first tier we'll go ahead and put in at 15%. The same across the board. If I need to adjust the renewal or rewrite percentages, I can certainly do that. So the first tier indicates anything applies to any premiums from, let's say, $1 all the way up to whatever that maximum tier would be. So in this case, let's say $2,000. So now anything, any premium written for this particular, with this particular carrier for workers' comp, up to, let's say, $2,000 is going to give my agency 15%. Now anything above 2,000, let's say we get 20%, so that would be anything above 2,000 all the way to a maximum of 5,000. And then the last tier, let's say that's 25, and we'll say anything above $5,000 will give your agency 25%. So by setting this particular rule, commission rule, up in tiers, that means that anytime you write a workers' comp policy through New England, the system will look at the premium, the total premium amount, and apply whichever commission percentage is set for them. So if you have a premium of $3,000 on a workers' comp policy through New England, it's going to calculate your agency commission on the second tier, which is 20%. I'm going to click on Save, and that way it automatically saves my changes. So now there is my commission rule that I've set up. I can click on Copy to add an additional commission rule, or I can simply click on Add New Commission or Add Commission to create a brand new commission. So in this case, we'll go ahead and select Copy, and we're going to look at the same commission rule. But this time we're going to add a promotional. Now promotionals are basically used when during a specific period of time you have a carrier that will give you a higher commission amount on that particular line of business. Once you're setting a promotional time frame, which means there's an effective date and there's an expiration date. Once that expiration date comes due, that particular promotional commission will stop, and then your standard commission will pick up again. So if you have a standard commission, you can do that. So we'll go ahead and select promotional. Now our effective date could be any date that you choose, or that this particular promotion is going to begin. So in this case, we can say from maybe from May 1st. From May 1st all the way to May 31st. If you're selling a workers' comp policy through New England, maybe everything doubles. And then we'll do 40. Oops. Let's change that to 40. And that to 50. So for the entire month of May, if you sell a workers' comp policy with New England, you're going to receive the following commission percentages based, of course, on tiers. Now, you can also do this on a monoline policy that does not have tiers. And we can go ahead and click on Save. And that's basically how you can use tiers and promotionals to set up individual commission rules within your system. Now, the same would apply on the producer side. You can set up a producer commission. So if we come in here and we choose our carrier, and we'll go ahead and choose our producer. And our agency commission. Now, with the producer, you can choose either to have your producer's commission calculated based on what the agency makes off the policy or based on the premium and fees. The filters above work the same as we just saw with the agency commission. You can be as specific as selecting a particular carrier, a particular line of business, a subline. Those all are the same. We also have promotionals here as well. So if during a specific period of time you're paying your producer maybe a higher commission percentage if they write business with New England Insurance, and in which case, in this particular example, I'm choosing any line, and maybe for the month of, we can say April, we're going to give them maybe 70% commission on that particular with that particular carrier. So now if I have a standard commission, that maybe it can even be for any line of business with any carrier. What happens with that is if when they do write a policy with New England, this particular promotion will override that just for the month of April. I'm going to click on Save. All right, so now let's take a look at some other ways of setting up, different ways of setting up your producer's commission rules. So let's go ahead and copy this commission onto a new commission rule. So again, I can go down the filters and make this as specific as I want to with a new specific rule. But in this case, we're going to take off our option or remove the option for promotional. We have policy source as an option. So if I needed to create this commission rule based on an advertising tool or a policy source of business that I have saved within my location preferences in QQ Catalyst, I can set this commission rule only to apply when that particular source of business is used to bind coverage or purchase a policy. When it comes to producer types, we can set up our producer's commission to be on an individual basis, but we also have two other options that are available as well. So we have the option to set up our producer's commissions on an individual basis, a group individual basis, which means that there are multiple producers involved in writing a policy for a specific line of business, for example, in which case each producer will need to be listed on that policy, and that commission rule will apply depending on how you set up this commission rule here within this section. So group individual is basically each producer will receive their percentage based on when you enter here in this section. So we'll choose group individual, and we'll choose a few we'll go ahead and choose 2 producers to share commission on a particular, it could be a particular line of business, it could be with a specific carrier. It can be based on the agency, what the agency makes off the policy, or it could be based on the premium plus fees. And then at the bottom, you're going to enter the percentage that each producer will receive. So if it's equally 50%, or if they're going to share that 50%, then you're going to give them 25%. Now, with producer commission percentages, or commission rules, you can either set them up as a percentage or a flat dollar amount as well. And then we'll go ahead and add that. And we're going to click on Save. So that's one way of doing that. Now, I can copy this yet again onto another commission rule. And this time we can select, let's say, workers' comp. And we'll go ahead and change this to split commission. We'll leave the same producers' names, but in this case, when they write a workers' comp policy with New England Insurance Company, this is going to be a group split commission, which means that each producer will receive a share of what the agency makes off that policy. So they're not going to share the total or based on what the agency makes off the policy, but a portion of what the agency makes off the policy. So here in the commission amount also can be set as a percentage in a dollar. And then we're going to enter the percentage that they're going to share in what the agency makes off the policy. So it's not going to be the typical 100% of what the agency makes off the policy, but rather 50%. And then you're going to enter the producer split. So in this case, we'll leave it at 25% for each one and click on Save. So once you've done that, you have all your commission rules set up. Now there are reports that will help you in basically keeping track of your commissions that are standard reports that are located within our standard libraries. The first report that we're going to look at is the outstanding report, which can be for the agency, and it can also be for the producer. So with standard reports, there is no option to edit the information or to delete them from your library. You simply run this particular report based on either the parent group or also based on the carrier. Now you can put in multiple groups or multiple insurance carriers into this report, or you can do it individually. So once this report is pulled, it will give you a list of all the outstanding commissions that are due to your agency based on the insurance in the insured's name. It splits it or separates them by carrier, gives you a subtotal. It includes the insured's name, the line of business, the effective date. It also gives you the agency commission that's due, anything that has been paid up to date, and what, if anything was paid, what the balance is. So if you notice here at the bottom, we have a total commission of $312.30. We received $208. That means we still have an outstanding amount of $104 that are due from the carrier to your agency. We also have another report, outstanding commission report for producers. So if I wanted to run an outstanding commission report on one producer or multiple producers, we can do that. Let's take a look. And let's run this on one individual. And again, this will break it down by producer and give you a subtotal. And at the end, it will also give you a grand total of any outstanding amount that is due to your producer. It includes the insured's name, the insurance company, the line of business, effective date, as well as the commission due, any amount paid, and also any balance remaining. So at the very end of the page, or the report I should say, you will have a grand total of what's outstanding to your producer. Now another report is the net commission report. So I'm going to just do a search for net commission report, and this will allow you to pull a report by specific time frames. So if I wanted to see all the commissions paid, let's say from June 1st of last year all the way to today's date, I can go ahead and put in those dates, and what this basically does is it breaks it down by carrier. It groups it by carrier and parent carrier, and it shows me exactly how much money was, or how much commission was earned with this carrier, what was paid out to the producer, and what my total net commission is. And then at the very bottom, it also shows me what that total commission, net commission earned for that time frame is with my entire group. Okay, the last report that we have is going to be the producer payment report. And this will show you is a report that can be done by one specific producer or agent for a specific time frame. So again, if I wanted to bring this back all the way to maybe May of last year, all the way to today's date, this will show me all the payments that were made to this producer and at what time frame. So this will show me all payments made to the producer and chargebacks as well. And at the very end, you have a grand total of what was paid to the producer at this particular, during that particular time frame. Okay. And those are the reports that we are covering for today. Thank you for attending the advanced training class on setting up commissions in QQ Catalyst.